So any supporters, we're inviting folks to come up here and sort of stand with the folks that'll be speaking.
Hello everybody, thanks for joining us. We are live here at Camp Nenookassi in Minneapolis.
Just one more time, anyone here supporting the camp can come stand up here and just show the support behind the press conference.
A lot of our relatives have been being supported by this camp. The city is threatening to raid it, evict it, move everybody. People are having a press conference to talk about why that is a terrible idea. It continues the history of displacement of Indigenous people here in this city. And we're about to listen to this press conference. Thanks for joining us. We are live. Please like, share this where you're watching from. And just thankful we can be here to bring this to you.
Bonjour. I want to say miigwech for everybody showing up here. My name is Nicole Mason. My spirit name is Nenookaasi. I'm from the Eagle Clan and a member of the Red Lake Nation and a grateful woman in recovery. Single mother of 5 children and 2 grandchildren, and a lifelong community member of the East Phillips neighborhood. I want to say that I'm here because I am a woman in recovery. Not too long ago was I homeless and living out here with the relatives. And I said for about 1.5 years that I would get sober, that I was going to treatment. I didn't know what treatment was, but I was going. And I said, I'm coming back for all you guys. I'm going to get strong and I'll come back. I sat there for about 1.5 years, 2 years healing myself inside. And I think that I'm just really, really grateful for having the resources from our cultural leaders and helping me and guiding me in that way, and our community members for backing up. Now I'm here for the relatives. We've been fighting for this healing center to help our people in recovery, to help them through the stages, meeting them where they're at, figuring out what kind of different things that they need, individualize them and help them with culture, with our traditional ways. But we haven't been heard yet. We were promised 90 shelter beds and 40 permanent housing for our relatives, right? I don't see anything there, and I don't see any storage. We brought the storage. The people did. It hurts me to see all of our people scattered, not having a solution, because I thought that us as the people could make these solutions happen. We are making them happen, but what did we ask? For time. Don't displace the relatives until we have this healing center. So what? 1.5 weeks ago, we met with the mayor's office, a lot of community members, a lot of policy decision makers, where we were told that long-term solutions were on the table. And what happened? An eviction showed up. It's not right. A lot of things have been promised and then taken away and shown with an eviction. That's not a solution. The people don't want to live like this. They want permanent housing. I just ask everybody to help support in healing our people here. Help us move our things to the next place, or help support, hold it down where we're at till we have permanent solutions. We just need a lot of support. And we need for the mayor to hear us, because he's the only person that gave us pushback, and I don't see him here ever. He's never once shown up to the camp or showed up to a meeting. So we need to call him out. We need to call out our governor. We need to call out a lot of people, because this is an emergency. And this is something that all of the people want, right? Yeah. We want to stop encampments. We want to stop addiction. We want to stop the illness within our people. And we want to bring culture and language back, right? Yeah. So it's time to stand united, come together, and make this dream that was created by the people, make it reality. Because letting them have some control over their lives again. The government's been doing this to our people for a long time, deciding. And now we have to pick up the pieces and heal our people over the generational trauma. Give us the resources, give us land back, so that we can heal our own people as Anishinaabe. Thank you.
We're going to hear some words also from some of our outreach and service providers in the community. We have Latasha Jennings from LEAD, letting everybody advance with dignity.
Good morning. I'm Latasha Jennings, and I serve as the project manager for a program called LEAD Minneapolis, which stands for Let Everyone Advance with Dignity. And I'm with Pillsbury United Communities. Our White House Community Center is located right here adjacent to Camp Nenookassi. On September 13th, 2023, shortly after Camp Nenookassi was formed, our agency reached out to the Minneapolis office of the mayor, as well as the city's Department of Regulatory Services, requesting urgent action to improve neighborhood conditions for Camp Nenookassi residents, as well as surrounding neighbors, our White House Community Center included. We did not ask for a camp closure or an eviction of our unhoused neighbors. We sought and still seek an encampment response that affirms camp residents' humanity and facilitates connections to wraparound services that address the root causes of unsheltered homelessness. The way encampments have been cleared in the neighborhood and in the city in recent years has further destabilized and degraded those living in encampments and has merely shifted challenges to new locations. We implore our government leaders to ensure that solutions are found to protect and create stability and opportunity for our most vulnerable neighbors and improve quality of life in this neighborhood. We were pleased to see garbage collection happen and eventually the placement of the portable toilets here at the camp, as these are key public health resources necessary to maintain the health and well-being of Camp Nenookassi residents and the surrounding community. We have also appreciated the increased communication from the City of Minneapolis, although we do not support their ultimate decision to evict Camp Nenookassi residents today. There is still much to be done. The current practice of encampment closures disrupts our ability to provide consistent services to camp residents through our White House Community Center food shelf, as well as through our LEAD Minneapolis program that currently provides intensive case management services to several Camp Nenookassi residents. We need, as service providers and Camp Nenookassi residents deserve, housing options rooted in harm reduction principles that allow current camp residents to maintain their sense of community and that allow service providers like myself to have a consistent location to meet with and maintain connection to our clients and avoid disruption of services. Community and social connection are necessary components of healing. Amen. We need the City of Minneapolis to develop an encampment response policy that includes cross-jurisdictional coordination with county, state, and regional partners to achieve long-term housing solutions and move beyond a reliance on displacement to address unsheltered homelessness. Finally, we need investments in community-based organizations like Pillsbury United Communities, like Agate and Avivo, who are front line to these challenges and often work without the resources to try to address them. The investment must match the volume of the need, and currently that is not the case. Thank you.
Bonjour, bimosay, good indigenous cost, moko and do them. Miss Kwa Gavin Weez, I got an indulgeba. Hello everyone, my name is Sam Strong. I'm Secretary of the Red Lake Nation, and I'm here to support our people and to make sure that our people are taken care of and not forgotten. You know, it's been too long that our people have lived on the streets. It's been too long that we've been marginalized and forgotten. And so today is about making sure that this eviction doesn't bring an ability to forget who we are and why we're here. You know, we have treaties with the federal government, treaties that give us housing, health care, education, and yet you see the Wall of Forgotten Natives, you see Camp Nenookassi. They're here because those promises have not been kept. We're here because those promises have been empty. And so today is about creating a future where we can build this healing center. And the Red Lake Nation is committed to being that partner, to build a space where our people can go when it gets cold, to build a space where our people can learn and relearn our language, our culture, our way of life, the tools to bring them back into society, to bring them on the red road. And to do that, we need the cooperation of state, city, federal partners. We need not only cooperation, but resources. That's the way we're going to end this homelessness problem, is not through empty words and promises, but through commitment, through long-term solutions to provide housing and health care and education, schools for our children, housing that where we can live together, where we can protect our people, where we can stand as one, much like they have here at the camp, to protect our women from sex trafficking, to protect our children from the gang violence that we see in our communities, and to protect all of our people from the opioid addiction crisis that our communities have faced. Yes. And it's not only here in the cities, but it's back on the reservations. In Red Lake, we have a huge homelessness problem. In Red Lake, we have the same opioid problems, and that's why our people continue to go back and forth and continue to be neglected. You know, and it's important that we don't think of this just as here in Camp Nenookassi, because it's all across the state. It's in Duluth, it's in Bemidji, it's on the reservations. We are the most forgotten and marginalized people in the entire country. We have the highest homelessness rates, the highest rates of educational disparities, the lowest attainment for higher education. And why is this? Because those promises were not kept. Not only is it the humane thing to do, but there's obligations with the federal government. These treaties are in the Constitution, the same Constitution that the city and state and federal governments are obligated to uphold. And yet, why are we at the bottom of all of these disparities? It's time that we come together, and we're calling all of these governments to action, to come to the table, to sit with our leaders, to sit with our people, and do something different. It's time that we bring our relatives home. It's time that we protect our women and children. And it's time that we respect our people. And so we ask you, as today ends and as tomorrow begins, to not forget our people. We don't need a homeless encampment to stand up for the rights of Native people. We can do that every day. We can bring resources. We can hold our governments accountable. The land that you stand on is Native land. The prosperity of this city and this state is born out of the blood of our ancestors. The boarding schools, all of the trauma that our people have been through has brought about these issues. And it is time that society makes those wrongs right. It is time that we stand together and mandate that something different happens. And so today is just the beginning of our healing center. Today is just the beginning of our dreams. And we talked about that last night. Keeping that dream and keeping that dream in our hearts, in our prayers. keeping the peace. It's not about division. It's not about creating a divide within society. It's about helping those that need it most. And when we do that, our society will heal. And when we neglect the people that are most hurt, our society suffers. It's what brings about the conflict. Our city needs to heal. Our state needs to heal. Our country needs to heal. And it starts with the original inhabitants of this land. It starts with us. And it starts with housing our people. It starts with maintaining those commitments that were made by the government, by all levels of government. And so I ask you to listen to us and to not forget us. And I ask you to help say your prayers for us. And not only say your prayers, but bring about action. To bring about real, true change. And to begin to help our people heal. Miigwech.
We also have John from Avivo here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Triet. I'm a service area director in the Ending Homelessness Division at Avivo. First and foremost, I want to recognize that I'm a guest on this land. This is native land. It is not my land. It's not where I came from. And I want to just thank Secretary Strong for his very clear and direct words about the reality of the situation that we're dealing with today and the context that it takes place in. The legacy of trauma amongst communities that have been marginalized is real, and it's a direct result of what we're seeing today, where people are forced into spaces where they don't have the resources and the ability to move out of those spaces without the support of the community at large. And ultimately, it's the community here, the community that's been built here, that is the leaders in this and can tell us most accurately and most effectively what needs to happen in order to help people not have to experience homelessness on the streets of Minneapolis and throughout the state of Minnesota. Avivo stands in solidarity with the indigenous community. We believe that we have to help support in the background and let folks on the front lines of the experience lead the action that needs to take place to solve the problem. If encampment displacements worked, then we would not have a situation where we have well over 100 people still here today in our community. Displacements have continued since the Wall of Forgotten Natives at a large scale. It has not solved the problem. We need more resources. Avivo stands in solidarity with the elected officials that are here today and are willing to help make a stand to make real positive change and to listen to the community. And we believe that with resources, working with our partners in the community, other agencies, the Native American community, in particular the Red Lake Nation, that we can find solutions and we can find effective change and we can have the ability to make people have lives that look very different than what they're experiencing today. Everyone deserves dignity. These are human beings amongst us. We are all human beings, right? We all want the same things. We want a safe place to put our head at night. We want warmth. We want love. We want food. We want warm clothes. These are not extravagant asks. And we stand in solidarity with the ask that people have a dignified place to go home at night, lock a door, and feel safe and secure in their space. Thank you.
A little shorter. Hi everyone, Jason Chavis, council member of the 9th Ward. I represent the Phillips neighborhoods right across the street from here, one of the biggest urban indigenous communities in the entire country. And we're here today standing in solidarity against the mass displacement of hundreds of indigenous people of this land at this encampment, and standing in solidarity and asking the mayor to stop this eviction and to work with the city council and our state and our county on establishing a cultural healing center. You'll see a variety of city council members behind me and state representatives asking the mayor to stop this eviction and to work with us to do this center with the community. We know that a cultural healing center is something that's going to help permanently house our relatives, and it's going to help heal and support them in ways that they need to be supported right now in our state and in Minneapolis. Just yesterday, my office sent a letter to the mayor's administration asking him to stop this eviction and to work with us, in particularly in developing these long-term solutions and an immediate solution with encampment residents. It's unfortunate that we're all here today asking him once again to stop this eviction, to work with the community members, when you have city officials right here saying we're committed to funding this project and we're committed to making sure that we have a place for our relatives to go so they're not being displaced, being set onto the streets with no place to go out in the cold weather. It is unacceptable that we are offering housing solutions where people have to sit on the floor on mats, where people don't know if they can sleep there overnight with no place to go. And I don't see anybody here with storage options for people. The community is out here giving storage options for the homeless people here, but the city isn't here with storage bins. It's unfortunate that we have to be here to observe the city's actions, so we have to work and make policies that make them change their behavior. Thank you.
I guess that we can open up for questions. All right.
Hi, my name is Marissa, and I am a resident here at Camp Nenookassi. And I am speaking up today because they say that they are housing us, and they are very inconsistent with their housing. They build us up only to just leave us in the air and leave us hanging, and it makes us feel forgotten. The lady, I was supposed to go and sign for my lease today for my apartment, and I've been waiting in my tent all day, and my worker didn't show up to bring me to my appointment. And that is the point. We have had elders here shown their apartments, and then it was, oh, next week. Oh, it's next week. Oh, it's next week. And it took her months to get her apartment. And we feel forgotten. You know, we are still humans too, you know. And we are trying to make it. Camp Nenookassi has given me a home. It has given me a family. They gave me a job so I can start to be an adult again and start working myself back up into being in the real world again. Nicole has supported me since day one through everything, and she has never let me down. She's always been there for me, right or wrong. She's had my back. And you can't take my family from me, you know? People say that we're a bunch of addicts, but it's not why the addiction, it's why the pain. All we ask is that we've been asking the mayor to just come walk through our camp, come see it, because our camp, you can't understand it through pictures or reading a story. It's a feeling. Our camp is a feeling. And everybody who has come through and walked through our camp, even our neighbors, have all become our friends. So all I'm asking is that you guys stop forgetting about us too, and just come and hang out with us or visit us and understand that we're still here. And we're going to keep fighting. Yep.
I told her I wasn't going to talk about it, I guess. Yes. Good morning. My name is Aisha Gomez. I'm the state representative for District 62A. And I'm, you know, like everybody, I think I am just heartbroken to see us on the verge of doing something that we know doesn't work. Because as John said, if evicting encampments in the absence of permanent or even temporary housing options worked, if we could have evicted our way out of this crisis, we've done enough evictions that we would have seen the results by now. What we know happens when we evict people, what you just heard from one of the camp residents, is that relationships are severed. Relationships that anybody who is undertaking a process of healing from the trauma that you've heard everybody talk about today needs. We know that relationships with service providers, so many people here have ongoing relationships with case managers and they know where to find them. A lot of people here are on a path to get the help that they need. And every eviction severs those relationships, scatters people to the winds. We know that people will lose today if this eviction goes forward, and we hope the eviction does not go forward. But today, right here, if this eviction goes forward as planned, people will lose their documents, which they need in order to access the help that they need. We know that people will lose their possessions, their few possessions that they have in the world. We know that these precious relationships that have been built here, which we all need as human beings in order to thrive and to heal, are going to be severed. We know that therapeutic relationships will be severed. We know that relationships with people in systems who have access to resources that folks need are going to be severed. The reality is that evicting an encampment in the cold, in the winter, when there is nowhere for people to go, is not a solution. It's inhumane and it's unjust.
Shame on us.
And shame on all of us if we are accepting this. As somebody who is in a position of, stewarding a system that, as Sam said, the state government of Minnesota has obligations to native people, to tribes in this geography. And so it is just incredibly painful to sit here and see, that as much as so many people in positions of power want to do this differently, that we're still in the same place. I have been engaged in these conversations about how to move forward with this idea that comes from the residents of Camp Nenookassi for a healing center, and we will remain engaged in those conversations. We need action from every level of government, and at the state, I can say that I stand ready to help figure out how we can move forward. As you can see, we have city people here. We have been in touch with the county. We have our tribal governments at the table. And an eviction today would be a tragedy, and we should all say no eviction today.
No eviction.
Thank you.
Bonjour, Anishinaabe Duke, Adreana Goodwin, Indigenous cause, Washkubanesico, Ninago, Maingan, and Dudem, Misquagami, Wizagagunning, and Dunjaba. Greetings, relatives. My colonized name is Adreana Goodwin, and I'm a citizen of the Red Lake Nation. Much like what Marissa had just said before, the Nenookaasi healing camp, it's a feeling. And despite all of these harsh circumstances, our people continue to find one another through culture, connection, togetherness, and community. And much like Nicole, I see me and my people and them and me. And we've been working behind the scenes for a little while now, and I'm here today to say that we do have a plan. We do have a draft proposal that we've been working in collaboration with Nicole on. And I'm also here to say today that we're here to hold systems accountable. It's time. It's 2023 where systems are held accountable and that our people don't deserve to be treated in this way. We have resources, and we also come to the table with resources as tribal nations. We're not just asking for a handout. We're here today with our dream team to come up with solutions. And so I'm also encouraging all of those that said they want to meet. Well, I'm here right now. We're ready to meet. And so I really hope that we have meetings established and that we can get this ball rolling. When policies and systems want things to happen, they can happen immediately. And that's also what we're here today to ask, is immediate, swift response and action, because it's now time today that we remove that white tape. We say it's red tape. No, it's white tape. It's white tape that systems and policies have instituted against our people to make barriers against us. Well, we can remove those barriers, and that's what we need to do here today. Chim M Nicole, she's the Ogi Makwe here at this village. She's the one. that is the leader of this camp. And it's so important that we as systems and service providers and even tribal leaders, that we listen to Nicole and to Nenookaasi, because she is the Ogimakwe. And so I just want to say Chim Miigwech, Nicole, for your dream, for your vision, for believing in us. Miigwech, Nicole.
I think we can open up for questions now if there's any questions for us. Is there any questions for any of the people that spoke today?
We hear you say that you support the healing center that the Indigenous Peoples Task Force wants to do, but you need more time here before that.
Those are separate. The Indigenous Peoples Task Force is going to be building a community center here. What we are asking for is solutions for the residents of this camp, which would not be happening on this land. This is going to the task force. We're talking about a separate project, which would be a healing center, Indigenous-led, in Nicole's vision.
At a different location.
Yes, at a different location. Yep.
I have a quick question. They offered what they said was like 90 beds, like temporary. Did they say anything about like is any of that number accessible? A large number of people in this camp are disabled. They're in wheelchairs. You know, did they mention anything about like X amount for disabled people or accessibility options?
No. No, they haven't. And if we did have, we have elders and disabled people in here, how would they get there? And we're all here as witnesses to see that there is nothing available for them.
Is there any consensus among the residents in terms of how long they'd like to stay here?
I think the residents want to be housed. The residents want healing, and they want to be able to stay together. So it's not about wanting to stay here forever. It's about we want meaningful solutions. We've been looking at different places where we could go, talking to policymakers about open buildings and spaces that we'd like to be. The idea is to stand up this healing center, and that's, I believe, what the community here wants. Thanks, all.
This is our biggest hater here. Katie Kit Kat isn't down the block.
All right, everybody, this is Lorenzo Serna with the NDN Collective. I'm just going to take the feed down, wanted to bring it here. A lot of the relatives are being housed in the space. They have shelter in the space. If we go to the Camp Nenookassi Instagram, you can see some interviews with Nicole Mason, who's talking about just like how a space like this provides the ability to get a routine, an ability to know the actual place to go at night. And without that, it's impossible to try to get yourself back on your feet. There's really want to speak to that. I've seen that in many camps when people have a place and a place in the community. It's getting loud. But I just want to show everyone the place. We're going to take the feed down. We'll be back.
We don't know yet. I just had to give her 2 seconds of fame. Oh, okay.
Can I talk to you really quick?
Oh, I'm on a live stream here.
Can I ask you? I'll see if I can. We're gonna get in front of the camera. This is like right there. Hey, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself to people who are watching right now.
Oh, hi. I'm Nicole, camp organizer here at Nenookaasi Healing Camp. I just wanted to say that what we have come up with as a community here is that we want a healing center for our people. We're ready for it. We're ready for recovery. We are ready for land back. We are ready for those resources, and that's what we're demanding here. We want language. We want culture. This is what our people want here.
I was gonna ask, like, I was listening to you speak on like an Instagram the other day, and just sort of like what a camp provides for people to sort of get into a routine, to get themselves back into their feet, and what, when that's not there, like how difficult that is. I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit.
Well, the one thing that we've built up here, I guess, is community. So in the past, they break up camps, and it's hard for the outreach workers to find them. But right now, what my dedication is that I have been living on the camp for a month and a half now. Otherwise, I was here until late evening, and then I'd be back here early morning, so maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, come back to camp. And I was here all the time. Until I moved in to be here, because what's good enough for our people is good enough for me. And so until we have positive long-term solutions for our people, I commit to stay with them. And so what we've done now is we will move together. That's kind of how our ways were before, right? We moved as a tribe. We stuck together in unity, in community, and as family. And that's what we plan to do, so that outreach workers can continue to move forward to find housing for the relatives, to move forward with the goals that they have for the relatives, so that the relatives can get their medical attention and their medical needs met at the new site. I'm not going anywhere. I will continue to stay with the relatives day in, day out, until we have long-term solutions for everybody. So I appreciate everyone. Watch the social media. A lot of times I'm one-on-one with the relatives. I don't have a lot of time to be on social media, but follow us and see in ways that you can contribute. If you're in the metro area, bring us water, bring us bread and peanut butter, milk and cereal and bowls, simple things like that. We would much rather like items for you to bring the items rather than a money contribution. You have old boots, old jackets at home, wash them up, bring them over. I'm sure there's a relative that would really appreciate it, seeing that, it's getting colder outside. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I appreciate you for coming today, and give us land back.
Land back.
Heck yeah.
Can you speak just to the dream of the healing center?
Yes.
So this place that we're going to together, this is part of that sort of movement to get there?
Yes, it is. What we want is to be able to meet people where they're at. In addiction, healing doesn't happen overnight. You can't just say, hey, addiction is a grieving process. To say goodbye to something that comforts you so much, right? And to help them realize that pain that they have inside. What is that about? Sometimes us as Native people, we have pain inside that we don't even understand. All Indigenous people feel that loneliness and that emptiness inside, and you don't understand what it's about, right? We want people to understand what generational trauma is and what has been passed down to us, and also to heal from different things that we've experienced during our addiction, things that we've experienced during childhood or during our lifetime. Heal from that heal the pain of getting our kids taken away. Many things that we want to heal our people on all different levels and meet them where they're at. And understand that there might be relapses, and we will be right there, and we ain't going nowhere. We're gonna work through that. We have people like KG, Melissa brings them, Elias, like we have people that have done street outreach on their own, on their own time, that know exactly where the relatives go, so they can say, hey brother, hey sister, come on back, we're here for you, and not shut the doors on any of our relatives, and not have those barriers in recovery, because you will fall, and we're going to be right there to pick you back up and be there for you and love you and care for you. That's what our people need. So please support that. We want to do that with cultural aspect, healing, ceremony, and make this a way of life. We want to travel with our people and have them experience different ceremonies, different powwows, and camping in a good way. Going to sobriety powwows and going out to, say, Bear Butte and experiencing some of those ceremonies.
Biohazard. Have you seen your backyard?
So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Lorenzo. Yes.
Go look.
All right, I'm going to take the feed down. I just want to make sure that we spoke to Nicole for a second. I'm just going to be around for a bit longer. And just figure out what we can do. Again, the city hasn't showed up. They're supposed to show up at 9. There was just a press conference. A bunch of city councilors spoke. And the state representative spoke. And so a bunch of the aid workers. That was one that you heard a lot too. Is there's a lot of aid workers that are coming through the area. There's somebody yelling over here. So I'm just gonna take it down. It's hard to really hear. But thanks for being here.